part 1, just to make sure we understand those 4 classwork problems, or I guess there's actually 5. So I'm going to do an example kind of similar to number 45. So here we are in the unit circle, and I'm going to draw an angle. Let's say that this is like 51 degrees, okay? And we know that this is 90. And the other thing, of course, we know is that the radius is 1. And I'm going to call this point P. Oops. And I want to find the coordinates of point P. So we can definitely find this area right here because that's going to be the height of that triangle, which we know would just be the sine of 51. So we're going to find the sine of 51 degrees. And so we could put that in our graphing calculator, and we would get approximately 0.7, I'll say 77. All right, so then that's the sine, but in order to find the point P, we also would need the cosine of 51. So we can find the cosine of 51 degrees. And so again, you can plug that into your graphing calculator, and you should get 0.629. All right, and so from there, point P, what you should be discovering from this classwork is that when we have an ordered pair on the unit circle, it's going to be cosine of that angle and then sine of that angle, because cosine is x and sine is y. And so again, cosine is the length of that triangle, and then sine is the height of that triangle. Another way that we can find this, so again, I'm going to write out the points. So we know that the ordered pair is 0.629, 0.777. But another way that you should also know how to do this is by doing the Pythagorean theorem. So we know that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So what we could do is say 0.777 squared plus 0.629 squared. That should all be equal to 1. And so we can test that in our calculator, and it should be around 1 equals 1. Okay, so what then you can transfer is to say that cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1, and that is going to be our first trig identity. We call that the Pythagorean identity. So that was kind of the main idea from section 7.1.4, is just realizing that cosine is the horizontal distance from the y-axis, where sine is the vertical distance from the x-axis. And given sine, you should be able to find cosine in the unit circle by either finding that other angle, or you could just use the Pythagorean identity.